Cantos 37 to 39 of Book 4 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph D. H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 37. The Gathering. He ceased, and King Sugriva cried, to seize Hanuman by his side. Summon the Banner legions, those who dwell about the Lord of Snows, those who in Bindayan groves delight, Kailashas or Mahendra's height, dwell on the 5 bright peaks, or where Mandar's white summit cleaves the air. Wherever they are wandering free, in highlands by the western sea, on that east hill whence springs the sun, or where he sings when day is done. Call the great chiefs whose legions feel the forests of the Lotus Hill, where every one in strength and size with the stupendous Anjan vies. Call those with tints of burnished gold, whom Mahashila's caverns hold. Those who on Tumra roam or hide in the wild woods on Meru's side. Call those who, brilliant as the sun, on high Maharoon leap and run, quaffing sweet juices that distill from odorous trees up on the hill. Call those who tranquil haunts delight, where dwell the sage and anchorite, in groves that through their wide extent exhale 1,000 blossoms scent. Send out, from coast to coast, assemble all the Banner host, with force, with words, with gifts surprise, compel, admonish, and entice. Already envoys have been sent, to warn them of their Lord's intent. Let others urged by thee repeat my mandate, that their steps be fleet. Those lords who, yielding to the sway of love's delight, would fain delay ours hither with the utmost speed, or with thee to my presence lead. And those who linger to the last, until 10 days be come and past, and dare their sovereign to defy, for their offence shall surely die. Thousands, yea millions, shall there be, obedient to their king's decree, the lions of the Banner race, assembled from each distant place. Forth shall they haste like hills in size, or mighty clouds that veil the skies, and swiftly speeding on their way, bring all our legions in array. He ceased. The son of Bayu heard, submissive to his sovereign's word, and sent his rapid envoys forth to east and west and south and north. They bent their airy course afar, along the paths of bird and star, and sped through ether farther yet, where Vishnu's splendid sphere set. By sea, on hill, by wood and lake, they called to arms for Rama's sake, as each with terror in his breast obeyed his awful king's behest. 3,000,000 banners, fierce and strong, as Anjan's self, a wondrous throng, sped from the spot where Rama still gazed restless from the woody hill. 10,000,000 others, brave and bold, with coats that shone like burning gold, came flying from the mountain crest, where sinks the weary sun to rest. Impetuous from the northern skies, where Mount Kailasa's summits rise, 10,000 millions hasted, hued, like manes of lions never subdued. The dwellers on Himalaya's side, whose food his roots and fruits supplied, with rangers of the Bindayan chain, and neighbors of the milky main, some from the palm groves where they fed, some from the woods of beetles spared. In countless numbers, fierce and brave, they came from mountain, lake, and cave. As on their way the banners went, to ruse each distant armament, they chanced that wondrous tree to view, that on Himalaya's summit grew. Of old upon that sacred height was wrought Maheshwar's glorious ride, which every god in heaven beheld, and his glad heart with triumph swelled. There from pure speed at random sown, bright plants with luscious fruit had grown, and, sweet as amrit to the taste, the summit of the mountain graced. Who once should eat the virtuous fruit that sprang from so divine a root, one whole revolving moon should be from every pang of hunger free. The banners called the fruit they found, ripe on the sacrificial ground, with rare celestial odors sweet, to lay them at Sugriva's feet. Those noble envoys scoured the land, to summon every banner band, then swiftly homeward at the head of countless armaments they sped. They gathered by Kishkinda's wall, they thronged Sugriva's palace hall, and richly laden, bare within, that fruit of heavenly origin, their gifts before their king they spread, and thus in tones of triumph said, "Through every land our way we took, to visit hill and wood and brook, and all thy hosts from east to west flock hither at their lord's behest." Sugriva with delighted look the present of his envoys took, then bade them go with gracious speech, rewarding and dismissing each. Canto 38. Sugriva's Departure. Thus all the princely banners true to their appointed tasks withdrew. Sugriva deemed already done the work he planned for Raghu's son. Then Lakshman gently spoke and cheered Sugriva for his valour feared. "Now, chieftain, if thy will be so, forth from Kishkinda let us go." Sugriva's heart swelled high with pride, as to the prince he thus replied, "Come, speed we forth without delay, it is mine thy mandate to obey." Sugriva bade the dames adieu, and Tara and the rest withdrew. Then at their chieftain's summons came the banners first in rank and fame. A trusty, brave, and reverend band meet even before a queen to stand. They at his call made haste to bring the litter of the glorious king. "Mount, O my friend," Sugriva cried, and straight Sumitra's son complied. Then took by Lakshman's side his place, the sovereign of the woodland race. Upraised by banners fleet and strong, who bore the glittering load along, on high above his royal head a pearly canopy was spread, and chowries white in many a hand the forehead of the monarch fanned, and shell and drum and song and shout pealed round him as the king passed out. About the monarch went a throng of banner warriors brave and strong, as onward to the mountain shade where Rama dwelt his way he made. Soon as the lovely spot he viewed, where Rama lived in solitude, the banner monarch far renowned, with Lakshman lightly stepped to the ground, and to the son of Raghu went, joining his raised hands reverent. As their great leader raised his hands, so suppliant stood the banner bands, while pleased the son of Raghu saw those legions hushed in reverent awe, stand silent like the tranquil floods that raised their hands of lotus buds. But Rama, when the king to greet his friend had bowed him at his feet, raised him who ruled the banner race, and held him in a close embrace. Then, when his arms he had unknit, besought him by the side to sit, and thus with gentle words the best of man the banner king addressed. The prince who well his days divides, and knows aright the times and tides, to follow duty, joy, or gain, he, only he, deserves to reign. But he who wealth and virtue leaves, and every hour to pleasure cleaves, falls from his bliss like him who wakes from slumber on a branch that breaks. True king is he who smites his foes, and favour to his servants shows, and of that fruit makes timely use, which virtue, wealth, and joy produce. The hour is come that bids thee rise, to aid me in my enterprise. Then call thy nobles to debate, and with their help deliberate. Lost was my power, the king replied. All strength had fled, all hope had died. The banners owned another lord, but by thy grace was all restored. All this, O conqueror of the foe, to thee and Lakshman's aid I owe. And his should be the villain's shame, who durst deny the sacred claim. These banner chiefs of noblest birth have at my bidding roamed the earth, and brought from distant regions all our legions at their monarch's call. Fierce bears with monkey troops combined, and apes of every varied kind, terrific in their forms, who dwell in grove and wood and bosky dell. The bright Gandharvas brood, the seed of gods, they change their shapes at need. Each with his legions in array, hither, O prince, they make their way. They come, and tens of millions swell, to numbers that no tongue may tell. For thee their armies will unite, with chiefs Mahindra's peers in might. From Meru and from Vindhya's chain they come like clouds that bring the rain. These round thee to the war will go, to smite on earth thy demon foe. Will slay the Rakshas and restore thy consort when the fight is over. Canto 39. The Banner Host. Then Rama, best of all who guide their steps by duty, thus replied: What marvel if Lord Indra send the kindly rain, O faithful friend? If thousand-eyed, the god of day, drive every darksome cloud away, or rising high, the lord of night, flood the broad heaven with silver light. What marvel, king, that one like thee the glory of his friends should be? No marvel, O my lord, that thou hast shown thy noble nature now. Thy heart, Sugriva, well I know, not from thy lips but truth may flow. With thee for friend and champion all my foes beneath my arm will fall. The Rakshas, when my queen he stole, brought your destruction on his soul, like Anulada, who beguiled Queen Sachi, called Paloma's child. Yes, near Sugriva is the day when I my demon foe shall slay, as conquering Indra in his ire slew Queen Palome's haughty sire. He ceased. Thick clouds of dust rose high to every quarter of the sky. The very sun grew faint and pale behind the darkly gathering veil. The mighty clouds that hung overhead from east to west thick darkness spread, and earth to her foundations shook, with hill and forest, lake and brook. Then hidden was the ground beneath fierce warriors armed with fearful teeth, hosts numberless, each lord in size, a match for him who rules the skies. From many a sea and distant hill, from rock and river, lake and rill, some like the morning sun were bright, some like the moon were silver white. These green as lotus fibers, those white-coated from their native snows. Then Satavali came in view, got by a countless retinue. Like some gold mountain high in air, Tara's illustrious sire was there. There Ruma's father, far renowned, with tens of thousands ranged around. There, tinted like the tender green of lotus filaments, was seen, compassed by countless legions, one whose face was as the morning sun, Hanuman's father, good and great, Kesari, wisest in debate. There the proud king of Akshar feared, for his strong warrior arm appeared. There Dhumra, mighty lord, the dread of foes, his Ursine legions led. There Panas, first for warlike fame, with 20 million warriors came. There glorious Nila, dark of year, arrayed his countless troops in view. There moved Lord Gavaya, brave and bold, resplendent like a hill of gold. And near him Darimukha stood, with millions from the hill and oud, with Duvith, famed for strength and speed, and Mamda, both of Aswin seed. There Gaza, strong and glorious, led the countless troops around him spread, and Jambavan, the king whose sway the bears delighted to obey, with swarming myriads onward pressed, true to his lord Sugriva's haste. And princely Ruman, dear to fame, led millions whom no hosts could tame. All these and many a chief beside came onward, fierce in warlike pride. They covered all the plain, and still pressed forward over wood and hill. In rows for many a league around, they rested on the grassy ground, or to Sugriva made their way, like clouds about the Lord of Day. And to the king their proud heads bent, in power and might preeminent. Sugriva then to Rama sped, and raised his reverent hands and said, that every chief from coast to coast was present with his warrior host. End of Cantos 37, 38 and 39.